we're back at the workshop. It's been a while. Let's catch you up.
Since we've been away, Dave's been cracking on with the work. He's made a better, thicker shelf for above the cab and made some support for it to sit on. The wheel arch frames are complete and all we need to do now is install them and make them look neater. Most of the cupboards are done, so we'll be temporarily fitting those into place. We do, however, still need to paint these and add some finishing touches. But first, I'm starting with one of the more important jobs.
Well, it's working. I wasn't pushing off the edge. Right, what's happening?
You've had a week without hoovering and you've completely forgotten how to do it. What have you done to it?
I don't know, but I'm touching that bare-handed and I don't know how I feel about it.
That slap's had all kinds of nasties in it. Only with me. Yeah, no, that needs fixing.
You know what? I think it is broke.
That?
No one's had one of these since the 1980s.
How are we supposed
First
to
of
know?
all,
We don't hoover.
we've got a Hetty.
Okay, so first real job for me today is cutting this white sheet. This is for the insides of the cupboards and the outsides of the wheel arch frames. And without over-tooting my own horn, I'd say I absolutely smashed it. Does it fit?
Probably came off the brush to be.
God, you give her a brush and she turns into Mrs. Inch.
Again.
I would go as far as to say that is lovely. I wouldn't add the jubbly, but I'd say it's lovely.
So another 5 of them.
Now that I'd cut one and it was Dave approved, I could use it as a template for the other 5. And luckily, they fit perfectly. I also just realised I was whistling through this whole process like an old man on a stroll. Everyone loves a bit of Coldplay though, right? Anyway, let the cutting commence.
My head does fit through the hole.
Once the covers were done, I started on the wheel arch covers by drawing a quick pencil line along both of them to save myself a bit of time. And just as I'd finished, I had a fantastic idea. Right, I've had an idea.
Fantastic, it's going to be a good idea when I'm suspecting. Go on.
So we're going to have lights here. I'm thinking actually more towards the bed.
Dream on.
Hold on, it gets better.
It's classy. You
Hold on.
can't deny it. It's a classy idea.
Just think about it,
I mean,
night time.
It's good,
It is.
but is it going to make the rest of the van look bad because of how good that is?
I get the feeling I'm the only one that likes this idea.
Your bed's going here, you know that.
Yep.
The higher up your mattress is, up the van, the shorter the bed gets.
Right.
So obviously the longer the bed is, the lower your mattress is, the less space you've got underneath for chunkier items, for this guy.
I need to be able to sit up.
Under the bed?
On the bed.
Alright, well that's fine, but it's the underneath. Basically what I'm thinking is the top of the mattress is about there. That's going to give you maximum length. That's currently 184 centimetres. There's a bit of cladding. So by the time you've put a centimetre's worth of cladding on each, 182, that's 6 foot. That's
Right.
a decent length for
Right.
a van bed. So we're trying to figure out where the table is going to mount there, because before we put the wall in, all the support for that table has got to be behind the wall.
Right, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And
So
you-
I
yeah.
need to see where Liana's knees come to.
Is that alright for your knees then?
Well, how would I know?
Well, hold on, if it's down there, that's lower than her knees.
There'll be a thing on there, and then the arm comes up and across, and then you can slide the table wherever.
So
you
that
want
will go above Liana's knees. So let's just say Liana's got a buckled knee. It's got to be buckle proof. We've done the study before. We've tried to get in the door. We've done this shelf up here. It has to be buckle
The
proof.
problem is though, the further that way we put it, when you turn round this with your buckle knee,
Yeah,
if you've both got buckle knee,
we're a bit screwed.
it's gonna be.
So what you're saying is we need a new van
Right, no,
at this
what we're
point.
saying is, first of all, we need to turn that round, and both of us need to sit against each other to see.
Right then, realistically, we
Normal knees.
normal knees,
Right.
but there is always the possibility of a buckle. You have to remember that.
Okay. The table is mounted there-ish, comes out right here, and then it's direct between you.
Right. So let's say, for example, I've come in to the van, my knees like that.
Right.
This is the actually it's the left one. It's
Right.
this one.
Serious buckle.
I can't move this.
Right.
It's always like this.
So that table's gonna have to go really high then.
It is. And let's say Liana's got a buckle knee as well. So which one? This one, I'd say. it's buckled. Hers is a straight buckle, as you can see.
Right.
Mine's on a slant.
Yeah.
So actually, mine can probably be pushed to the side.
Well, if you
But
lean
Liana's-
yourself over, you'll go with your knee.
So I just have to sit here like this when the table's up. I'm glad we've sorted that.
It's day 2 and today I'm installing the trim for the wheel arches, which look very ugly, like it is. So it's going to be covering these so it looks nice and tidy. On one side we're going to have plumbing bits and bobs, and on the other side it's going to be electrical. First things first, Dave's going to screw some holes in it. Screw some holes? Drill the holes. He's going to drill the holes in there so I can screw it in. And that's exactly what we did. Dave got to hole making and I was prepping myself for putting in the screws. I got Dave to line up the first one for me because I didn't want to make a mistake. Before screwing the frame into place, I had to put some splodge to really hold things together. I don't know how I feel about splodging, only because last time I used one of these, I ended up splodging the roof.
At the end of your splodger.
I did clip it. Oh no, I didn't.
You've got a quaver.
What happened there? I did it.
Good.
Alright.
Whoa, 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 whoa. You need to press down harder than that.
Oh my gosh.
Did it go in?
It also split the edge of the wood.
No, it's in! It's it! That's your dodgy screwing in it!
So now you've seen that one being done, could you do the whole next one yourself?
Absolutely. I wasn't about to openly admit that I was incapable of doing the next one myself, so I accepted the challenge. So we've got to line it up first. Let's see, like that, you know. Got to use, how do you pick this up? What am I measuring with this? How does putting that... You're right.
Alright.
Yeah.
Is it okay?
Yeah. 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 Square. How does putting that up against that know if it's square or not? That'd look like that wherever it was. Does it need to be pushed in as much as possible? Right, splodger. That's how confident I am about my squareness. We're going to splodge on the high point, which is here, and we're going to splodge on the other high point, which is here. See? I do know what I'm on about. I mean, it's not lining up to my line, but it looks square, so it's fine. Yes. Well, here goes nothing. Judgment time.
Perfect, that.
Yes! I don't know how I've done that. Now the covers are in place, I needed to do a bit of insulation.
Oh.
Now for the bits that Connor cut yesterday, and I'm just going to splodge it on. Exactly the same on the other side, although Connor put a little bit too much insulation in this one for my liking.
It's on the floor!
What's going on? It's picked up some of your smelly fluff because you've over-fluffed it. Bloody fluff.
Bloody hell, we're trying to put it through the wall.
I have to because you fluffed it. Dave is so impressed with my work that he wants me to cut the trim.
I do. I think you'll do it well.
Apparently the likelihood of me losing a finger here is higher.
It's higher than it was with the splodger. Okay.
Just before we put the trim in, the ends have to go on. So naturally, I put a bit of splodge to keep them in place. Did I cause any damage?
Probably.
No.
Mishap out the way, the trim was on. Although the nightmare wasn't quite over because Dave spotted something I really hoped he'd miss. Well, Dave's not happy with the damage that Liana's caused.
It doesn't make you a bad person. I'm just saying you caused it.
There's no proof I did that! There is no proof!
But
That was in mint condition, that trim.
That's not coming off that.
I'm just going to have to stay here till tomorrow doing this till it does come off. Tell you what, Sif.
The Sif has actually got it off.
Yeah.
We can go home happy then.
Woo! Good morning. Let's make some breakfast. Well, we've got a busy day. I wouldn't quite say that we're settled in yet. We've still got so many boxes over at the other house. So much so that I think when they come into this house, we're gonna be extremely overwhelmed. But the funniest thing happened. So do you remember when I said, there's absolutely no way you're allowed to drive that Luton van? Are you allowed to drive this?
Well, I didn't ask.
The people we rented it from, they have a policy that you have to be 30 years old to drive a Luton van. So technically, he wasn't supposed to drive that van. We actually booked a Sprinter, like a big Sprinter, because he knew that he could drive it. And they phoned last minute like, listen, we haven't got a Sprinter, it's not getting back in time. So you can either like collect it really late at night or we can offer you a Luton van. Connor was like, yeah, whatever, because we just want to get the move done, so I'll take the Luton van. And then he phoned and he was like, well, the Luton van was great, so I'm gonna get one again. And he phoned up and he was like, hey, I'm just looking to rent a Luton van. And the woman on the phone goes, how old are you? And Connor goes, 27. And she's like, you're not old enough to drive a Luton van. He was like, what? But I had one. She was like, you weren't supposed to have one. We do have a designated driver. Thankfully, we've got Dave. God save the Dave. Yeah, he's gonna be driving for us, bless him. Another funny story, the piano and the treadmill, which is extremely heavy, that Connor bought like a proper commercial heavy treadmill. We weren't supposed to be moving them stuff ourselves. He was supposed to hire someone who lifts heavy goods, like a professional in heavy goods lifting. But he didn't. So I go, who have you paid for? Who's coming to collect our stuff? And he goes, oh, I don't know. I ordered him on maninavan.com. And to no surprise, they didn't turn up, did they? So, and I do really like this house, I do. The only downside was, you might have seen that we couldn't get our bed upstairs, but also a lot of our upstairs furniture wouldn't go upstairs either. So we've had to give it all away. So currently upstairs, we have got absolutely nothing and we're sleeping on the sofa. But I think we, should probably get a move on.
So here's our designated driver for the day. Thank you for this, Dave. We really appreciate you
problem.
taking time out for us.
We only need about 3 trips back and forth.
Well, we just need.
You said one?
It is one, but we
Right.
just needed an old guy to help us out, really.
There's advantages to it sometimes.
There is.
You admitted that you weren't meant to drive it.
Broke
You
the policy.
basically-
No.
Yeah.
No.
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 Criminal.
I am a criminal to their standards, not actually law. No.
But I knew you weren't supposed to drive it.
I've not broken any laws, but Enterprise, they don't let me drive that van, which is so strange. But luckily, like I said, we know an old guy, so
Yeah.
we can get it done. We should probably go get the van. So that we did. Dave drove off in the Luton and we went straight to our old house to get things started. We're getting there.
So they were just taking the second set of drawers and I hear a snap.
The first one was perfect. This one, not so much perfect. Is this done for?
What's happened?
It's ripped off.
It's ripped in half. And it's Harry's fault. We've got one downstairs safely.
Well, there's no point in having one.
Of course there is. One's
No,
better
there's
than
not.
none.
Well, tax it's mine then.
And everyone knows one is more than zero. So we'll skip this one though. Here he is. It's our 30-year-old.
Woo! Designated driver.
He's got a smug look on his face. Right then, let's not mess about.
What, straight on piano?
Well, yeah, probably one of the first things.
Wheels on the bus go ba 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 ba. The wheels on the bus go ba 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 all through the town.
That was actually pretty good.
Round and round, round and round, the wheels on the bus go round and round all through the town. The wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round, 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 round and round.
Round and round, the wheels on the bus go round and round. Woo! That was better than yours, sorry.
No, where?
Yeah, but can you hear what I can do now?
Right.
Yeah. That's all I've got, sorry.
So basically, we've gathered everyone here today to move the heaviest items we own, our piano and our treadmill. There was absolutely no way we could have done this alone, especially as I wasn't actually allowed to hire a Luton van myself. So not only did Dave do the driving, but he also bought a piano dolly along with him, which would hopefully make the whole process a whole lot easier for our frail bodies.
Right, as long as Dolly Parton does her bit and stays... She's a bit wonky. Stays firm. Oh, sorry! That felt really good, that.
Wow, way!
Oh. That doesn't feel very safe. If we... Yeah. Oh, it's not a minute pull back. Don't be doing them sound effects, Dave.
Wow, I think we've got a new career path to go down.
Now we just had to lift it back off the dolly and strap it onto the side of the van to make sure it doesn't move.
Jesus!
You might not think it, but pianos are extremely heavy, and so is our treadmill.
Now this is the one that concerns me. This took like 6 of us last time we moved house, and now there's only 3 of us.
Oh, you're joking!
6 of us? It took last time?
Turns out having 6 people help probably is overkill, because this isn't as hard as I remembered.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, Dave, be careful!
And just like that, we were in. Whilst we had Dave and Harry here, we decided it would make sense just to chuck everything on the van whilst we still had it. And although neither of them had any idea that was part of our plan, they were more than willing to help.
Clingers. What? Baking and clingers.
Yeah, cling film. Cling film.
Oh.
Clingers.
Well, how would you label the fact you've put cling... Never mind.
Trying not to waste too much of anyone's time, we picked up the pace. Dave should be converting our van right now, but chose to help us anyway. How nice is that? Oh, and a lot of you were questioning the amount of Prime we had, and I just wanted to mention that we've never actually bought any for ourselves. They send us all the new flavours before they officially come out, so that's why we've got a fridge full. That wasn't easy. We'll see you over there, driver Dave.
Yeah, right, it says 40 miles and I've got 21 miles on the van.
It's not doable.
I'm going to try it.
You're going to have a go?
I'm going to give that a go.
There's got to be a petty on the way anyway. You're a braver man than me.
We'll see what happens, but I reckon I can...
Okay. Well, we might see you there then.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I'm not there in 2 hours...
I'll bring a jerry can. Yeah, alright. Yeah. Dave did in fact have to stop for fuel, but can you believe they hired us a van with an empty tank? Anyway, we're back at the new place, so let's get unpacking.
Well, are you ready to see... How did you drive? Erratically or...?
I was the most careful driver there ever was. So.
That must be careful. There's something resting against here. Definitely something resting against here. Oh no, we're all right. It's better than the spice cupboard, it is. Big ones as well. Just like that, Dave and Harry have gone home. Liana's putting Cozy to sleep, and it's time to tackle this.
God's sake. But I'm not going to bore you with that, so we'll see you in the morning.
That's lovely, that is. Oh. Where are you going? What are you doing?
What am I doing?
Why have you come so far in?
That is more far in than I expected.
I thought we were just going to...
Right, okay, tell you what, you push it back out, I'm not starting it again.
I've only got one hand.
Well, get Cozy to help. Say when.
Yeah, I will say when. Wait, I didn't say when.
Oh.
You said say when. I said yeah. I haven't got it. Are you sure you pulled that off?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that'll do because oh, it's coming backwards! We're kicking things off today by finishing the cupboards. Dave kindly cut them all yesterday, so I've got to drill some holes and screw in some screws. Well, I let Dave do the drilling. They aren't actually going to be in for very long because we have to paint them the same colour as our units. But at least we'll get an idea of how they'll look when they're finally in. We didn't prep the nails, and that's why it didn't want to go in for me.
The screws.
You just called that a nail.
You confused me.
I did, however, take on the drilling for this temporary support piece, which I'm putting in just to keep the cupboards more secure. Eventually this will be replaced with a longer piece that covers the whole row. And on to the next one we go. And the next one. And the next one. Although this one is slightly different because this is where the internet box will sit. So Dave is cutting a hole through the top so that we can feed the cables. Yep, that's definitely a hole. And with a bit of sanding to finish it off, it went up next to the others to complete the row. And that is a job well done.
You need to come this side so you can see where the bed.
Oh yes, because that's very easy for me right now.
You're gonna limbo it.
You've got to go under.
I can't limbo.
Right, hold on, give me the camera.
Oh, I can't limbo. Go on!
Oh, you can't make sound effects without breaking tools. Hold on, is that a limbo?
Don't.
Yeah, as long as you don't put anything but your feet on the floor,
The
right?
inverter's behind you, so if you fall, don't.
That's what I'm saying.
Don't
Look,
put
you're
your head on it.
confusing me now. I've
You
touched
just-
the floor. Are you allowed to go sideways on a limbo or does it have to be completely back? I'm not going to be able to do it.
So the bed isn't actually coming out as far as we thought it would. So rather than it coming past the window, which we previously said, it's now only coming up to the side, which is going to look lovely. What is it, Dave?
4'6".
4'7".
You said 4'6".
Oh, I did. No, that's a standard double.
Oh, it's 4'7".
So it's a little bit more than that.
It's a little bit more than a standard double, which is perfect. Over this side, we've got the sink and a tap, the fridge, hopefully a bigger fridge, and just a surface, more cupboardage. Over here, induction hob and excess worktop space cupboard. The important one, un bogo. Down here under the bed, bit of garage space, and then Dave's gonna lay a little shelf above so he can still store stuff above the toilet in the garage. And yeah, that's pretty much the update.
Oh, thrilling.
Yeah. The last job of the day was to get the backboard on the wall that will hold this inverter in place. Dave fed all the cables through yesterday and installed the hookup point on the outside.
What's that?
So when you plug the van into, you're not bothered, are you?
No. Why are you looking like that at me?
Well, because you're not pressing on very hard. It
I was!
It chews up the head.
You told me to go out!
Progressively.
I just said.
It really is a shambles at this point. A few screws later and that was finished. But just as we were trying to bring the van back into the workshop, disaster struck. Our van wouldn't start. Right then, what's that about? I can hear that.
Start the engine.
What's happening?
Nothing.
Nothing.
This isn't the first time we've had trouble with this van. There's been a few times it hasn't wanted to start. That is sounding unhealthier every day. It's going back really, isn't it? I'm gonna have to get someone to look at that. But we've never had a complete failure where it doesn't start at all.
Not even trying to start.
There's no turnover at all now.
No. Do it again.
What does that say? Front left mount console?
That's just because we need to start.
Oh, it's the
because we're
chair,
not
it's the chair.
Yeah. But we can't leave it here because it's halfway in the workshop. I can't shut the workshop.
We're halfway in, halfway out.
To try and push it, but
Dave's broke the van. We need another van.
don't put this on me. I told you not to buy a Sprinter.
Well, we had no choice but to push. Even Helen was willing to get wet and put those butterfly legs to good use. Right, well, that seems like a problem for another day.